Welcome. Today we're going to work on our gesture drawing. We're going to do 10 2-minute poses and just practice our gesture, have some fun drawing, get some mileage in, add some poses to our visual library, and just have some fun. So let's get started. I'm in Clip Studio Paint. I've got the colored pencil in a dark red color, and we're going to start with this as our warm-up right here. So how do I go about this? It's only a 2-minute time gesture, so we don't have a whole lot of time to get real detailed. So I'm going to start with the line of action, which would be that her back leg is her dominant, her leg that she's leaning into. So I'm going to start with the head. I'm not going to worry about any features. Shoulders, angle of the shoulders. Line of action here that I didn't put in first, but that's okay. Put her rib cage in. Pelvis. The weight-bearing leg. So I'm thinking about the cylinders of the arm, forearm, the shape of the torso, shape of the pelvis, really just shapes in space. Put the other arm in. And I'm just thinking about cylinders, really. Hips. Again, this leg is almost even with us. There's not too much perspective to it. This leg's coming towards us. Knee. Almost I'm going off the page here. And always try to ground your character too. Put the feet on the ground. Eye line. Put the shape of her hair in. So, yeah, that's what I try to complete, the entire figure in 2 minutes. And if you have time, we can get into a little bit of detail, but always watch the wrapping lines of the clothing that can help us with our perspective. The horizon line looks like it's about right around here. You can use the planks of wood to kind of see the single point, the single vanishing point here. Right about there, it looks like. So yeah, that's the basics of how I go about doing these quick gestures. So let me clear this off and let's get started. I'm going to have the image up in the corner right here, should be popping up now. And we're going to start our 2-minute gestures. Again, there's going to be 10. If you don't like the small image, I'll put a link up to the right. You'll see a link to the full 20-minute, 10 poses, 2 minutes each. You can follow that and open up in a second window if you'd like a bigger version of the reference image. So let's get started. I'm going to hit start, and our time starts now. Okay. 2 minutes. Shoulders. And it's okay to push the pose. It's definitely okay to push the pose. Eye line. I like to put an eye line in. I also put like this side line here. I'm not worried about his helmet. Looks like he's got most of his weight on his back leg here. He's getting ready to swing. Feet are going to go right here. About the cylinders. The cylinders of the leg. Put his feet in here. 51 seconds left. I'm not really drawing fast. I'm just trying to get everything in here. I like to draw the hand first and then match it back up to the elbow and shoulder. I'll go ahead and throw the bat in here. That's not really important, but now we'll kind of build up some of the outlines, contours of the muscles. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're just practicing. We're just practicing, trying to add some more poses to our visual library here. And that leg looks a little wonky, but that is okay because we're just practicing our gesture. We're just practicing our gesture. Next. Okay. Head. Rib cage. Pelvis. And sometimes I just go with shape. Just try to get the shapes of the parts in. And I'm not making anything perfect here. I'm just trying to understand the pose. Hand, diamond. Neck. Sometimes I'll put the nose in if I have time. Put an ear in. That's not really what this is about, though. We're practicing our gesture. This leg's a little too short. I'm not going to worry about erasing. There's other arms right here. Wrapping lines for the contours of the calf there. And I'm going to try to slow down because I feel like I kind of rushed through that one. Okay, next. Just making a new layer for each drawing. Start with the head. I'm going to slow way down on this one. Shoulders. Rib cage. It's pretty much just a straight shot on this one. Elbow. Joint. The head slightly turned. You can almost see the side of the face on this left side here. The shape of the hair. Looking at the negative space can help us also. The negative space between her leg and her right arm there. Try to get the angles right if you can. Angles and shape. Practice how you see. Some wrapping lines on this leg to kind of show the slight direction forward. Okay, next. Now we're just going to pick one of these figures. Pick whichever one you want. I'm going to pick the first figure on the right. Head is tilted up. I'll put the eye line in, show under the chin, add the hair shape, ears down here. The angle is that. Put his boxing glove in there. Wrapping line, which you can see. Again, you can see this wrapping line on his forearm. My proportions are off. That's okay. Just trying to practice. The more we do this, the better we're going to get. Try to finish him up. And yeah, looks pretty good. Next. Okay, another action pose here. Let's start with the head. Gesture line, line of action. Shoulder line. Put in the rib cage, put a wrapping line around the rib cage. Pelvis. This arm's going back. This arm's going towards us. Shoulder. Kneecap. Looks like he's up on his toes here. His feet are way too big. That's okay. You start noticing things like that, you're going to start fixing. You'll start fixing those things before they happen. The more you see, oh, I make my feet too big, just write that down. And so next time you're practicing, you can remember, oh, I make my feet a little too big. So let me be mindful of that. Just make a mitten for the hand, eye line, hair, put a little shape for the nose, shape for the mouth, ear, shoulder. This one looks a little wonky too, but that's okay. Again, we're practicing. If they're all wonky, we're practicing. It doesn't matter. It's okay. We're putting in the time. We're trying to learn from our mistakes. And next one. Okay. Start with the head. Eye line, center line, neck. We'll do a shoulder. Put our rib cage. I'm just kind of measuring in my head and with these lines here where everything is. Some wrapping lines here to show that this leg is coming out towards us. I'm not really worried about the clothing. Neck. Let's add the shape of the hair. Shoulders. My proportions are off. Shape of the hands. Some wrapping lines on the forearms there. Sometimes I like to put the orbit of the eye socket. Next. Okay, action pose. Head. Rib cage. Pelvis. Calf. Foot. See the bottom of this foot. Shape of the hair. Diamond for the hand. Let me turn it into a mitten. This is coming slightly towards us, it looks like. It's about even. My proportion is off a little bit. See the wrapping line around the sports bra area. Okay, on to the next one. Oh, this is a cool pose. Okay, so head, shoulders, put the rib cage in there. Put the pelvis in. His legs going forward. Get our foot placement. This leg's coming back a little. Might push it a little bit more. You can see the bottom of this shoe. I just ran out of room. Here, let me move this up a little bit. K, drag. Hold down K and drag. Now I've centered my, not centered, but I've moved up my drawing a little bit. I've got 48 seconds left. Plenty of time. If I have more time, I'll put in the hair shape. And we can see the wrapping lines. You can use the edge of the shorts as a wrapping line to see the direction of the cylinder. Okay, another meditation pose. Head, eye line, shoulders. Slightly different than the last one. Do a heart shape for the chest. See the wrapping lines, the wrinkles on the shirt and the cuff of the shirt. I'm not going to worry about doing this hand pose. Just put a mitten in there. Neck. My head is too narrow, so let me widen it out. I'll put the eye orbit, mouth location. Add the shape of the hair in. So my proportions are off. Okay, next. Let's start with the head here. Top of the head's right here. Sometimes I'll put an arrow so I see that the head is tilted. Wrapping line on the head. Sometimes I'll throw an ear in there if this is not a full figure, so we have a little bit more time. Angle of the shoulders. Put the rib cage in. Rib cage is almost straight on us, looks like. Arm. I like this one because they're holding something. This is a useful pose. I'll put it in here. Why not? Okay. I want to put the shape of the hair. This is not important at this point, but I'm going to do it anyway. Okay. Hips, hip line is about that. My proportions are off. I see that. That's okay. Just try not to get discouraged. That's the main thing. Because these are very short drawings. We're just practicing our ability to capture what we see. Capture the form, capture the pose. Yeah, this head's way too small. And that's our 20 minutes. So, how did we do? We did our 10 drawings. We got some practice in. None of mine were perfect. That's okay. That's not the mission here. We're just trying to capture poses and add these poses to our visual library. 20 minutes a day. It'll take you a long way in really adding poses and your understanding, adding to your understanding of the figure with these short drawings. I hope you drew with me. I hope you had some fun. You didn't take it too seriously. We're just practicing. We're having fun. We're learning to draw. We're learning to draw the figure and just, putting in time, doing something that is really can be relaxing if you don't stress yourself out, if you don't make it that it has to be perfect, because we're only taking 2 minutes. With more time, we can identify the problems and fix these things. But these are just quick gestures. I think 2 minutes is the perfect amount of time to get the basic shapes in and the basic gesture in. But yeah, that's it. Thanks a lot, guys, for hanging out with me again, and I look forward to seeing you next time.